People always say dogs live in the moment, but that idea leaves out the most important part of who they are. Your dog may forgive easily, but they don't forget the things that shaped their trust. And sometimes the advice we hear about moving on with pets ignores the emotions they're still carrying. When you start noticing the memories behind their eyes, their behavior suddenly makes a deeper kind of sense. What they hold on to might gently challenge everything you thought you knew. If you want to keep exploring these kinds of honest insights together, I'd love to have you along. Number 1. How you reacted when they messed up. It's unsettling when you realize your dog doesn't remember the mistake itself nearly as much as the way your voice felt in that moment. They absorb the emotional tone instantly, holding on to it as a guide for what the world might do next. And when your reaction comes from frustration, even if it's brief, it can settle into them as a small seed of uncertainty. But when you offer calm guidance instead, your dog reads it as a sign that they're safe enough to learn without fear. That emotional imprint becomes the reference point they return to every time they look up at you, wondering if they're doing the right thing. And once you notice that pattern, you start seeing another one. Number 2. People or situations that caused fear. Most people assume dogs forget scary moments quickly, but fear leaves its own kind of fingerprint. Your dog can carry a single event, like a quiet warning, tucked away to keep them safe the next time something even slightly similar appears. And when you see them startle at a harmless trigger, it often isn't the object that frightens them, but the memory attached to it. Their body remembers the feeling long before their mind can sort out whether the danger is real. So when they avoid a person, a doorway, or a sound, it's often their way of honoring an old survival instinct. And honestly, that's the manageable version of the problem. Number 3. Painful or traumatic experiences. You watch your dog freeze for a split second during an ordinary moment, and you can almost feel the echo of something they once went through. Pain settles into their memory in a way that doesn't need words, shaping the places they hesitate around and the situations they quietly try to avoid. Sometimes the reaction seems random to you, but to them, it's a perfectly reasonable attempt to protect themselves from something that once hurt. Their body learns patterns long before you ever notice them, and those patterns follow them like a shadow that flares up only when a familiar cue appears. The stronger the emotion was in that moment, physical or otherwise, the deeper it settles, becoming a warning they carry into the rest of their life. And once you see how those old wounds guide them, you start noticing how even stress without pain can leave the same kind of mark. Number 4. Intense stress situations. Sometimes the smallest shift in how you read your dog can make stressful moments feel a little less overwhelming for both of you. Stress settles into their memory almost like a map, marking the sights, sounds, and scents that surrounded the moment everything felt too big. And long before the stressful event ever happens again, your dog may already be reacting to the cues that once signaled danger. You might notice their breathing change, or the way they scan the room, as if their body is bracing for something you can't see yet. Those early signals aren't overreactions. They're your dog trying to stay one step ahead of a feeling they never want to experience again. That sounds comforting, and yet it's often the gentle memories, not the stressful ones, that shape who they trust next. Number 5. People who treated them kindly. Have you ever noticed how your dog seems to remember a kind stranger long after you've forgotten the moment? Their mind holds on to gentle interactions the way we hold on to warmth on a cold day, storing the scent, the voice, and even the way someone moved around them. Kindness becomes its own kind of landmark in their memory, guiding them back toward people who made their world feel softer. And when someone consistently shows that softness, your dog doesn't just recognize them. They relax in a way that tells you the feeling is deeply familiar. These small, positive moments settle into them quietly, shaping who they gravitate toward and who they trust without hesitation. And once you see how powerful a single kind interaction can be, you also start to understand why your dog clings so tightly to the places where they feel that same sense of safety. Number 6. Places where they feel safe. You watch your dog slip into their favorite corner with that slow, purposeful calm, as if the whole world softens the moment they step into it. That tiny spot becomes more than a habit for them. It turns into a memory of safety they return to whenever life feels a little too loud. Your dog keeps a quiet map of places that once brought comfort, And each time they curl up there, they're reminding themselves of how it felt to breathe easier. Even during moments of fear or confusion, their body seems to know exactly where to go, guided by the emotional imprint the space left on them. And when you respect that safe place, without crowding it or trying to replace it, you're showing them you understand something about their inner world they can't explain. This keeps showing up in different forms, especially in the rhythms they build around you every day. Number 7. The routine you've built. Your dog doesn't just notice your routines. They depend on them more than you realize. Every repeated moment becomes a quiet promise that the world will unfold in a way they can understand. And that promise is what steadies them. When the rhythm stays predictable, you can almost see their body relax into it, trusting that nothing unexpected is about to take their sense of order away. But even a small change can ripple through them, not because they're stubborn, but because their memory has tied each part of the day to a feeling of security. The way they anticipate your footsteps, your schedule, even the sound of certain doors opening isn't guessing. It's the comfort of knowing what comes next. And once you notice how routine shapes their confidence, you can see why the day they first stepped into your home left such a lasting mark. Number 8. The day they came home. You might remember opening the door, but your dog remembers the exact way the air felt when their whole life changed in an instant. That first moment in a new home settles into them with a weight almost nothing else can match, shaping how safe they believe the world might be. Every scent, every sound, every expression on your face becomes part of the emotional blueprint they carry long after the moment passes. And if that introduction felt calm, steady, and warm, it plants a quiet trust that grows with them in ways you don't always notice. But if the world felt too big or too loud that day, they may still be navigating the echoes of that first impression, even now, trying to understand where they fit. And when you look at it through their eyes, you start to see how much their earliest memories hold hands with the ones formed even farther back in their puppyhood. Number 9. Early puppyhood and socialization. Have you ever wondered why some reactions in your dog feel older than anything you've ever shared with them? Those first weeks of their life leave impressions that sit deeper than most people realize, shaping the way they read the world long before you ever met them. In that small window of early development, every gentle moment builds a sense of safety, and every harsh or confusing one settles in as a quiet warning. You can sometimes see those memories resurface in the way they hesitate with certain textures, sounds, or strangers, as if they're revisiting a feeling they've carried since their very beginning. But even those early imprints aren't fixed forever, because patience and steady reassurance can slowly soften the edges of what once felt frightening. And when you witness that slow shift, you start to understand how much of their heart is shaped by the moments you never even saw. By now, you can feel how deeply your dog experiences the world, and how every memory they keep is really just their way of loving you back. And that alone is enough to remind any dog owner that they're already doing something meaningful, even on the days that don't feel perfect. What matters most is offering a kind of presence that stays steady, the kind they can lean on through every stage of their life. When you carry that warmth into your daily life together, your dog feels it in ways they never learned to hide. And that warmth is the bridge to the next part of their journey with you, the part shaped not by what they remember, but by what they long for. There are simple, lifelong acts of love your dog quietly hopes you'll share with them, and some of them may surprise you. If you'd like to keep discovering that deeper language of love, you're welcome to join me in the next video.